Hey, up in the spot. Got the light cooking this morning, bro. Cooking as usual. Now, real quick, had a little thought experiment this morning. Um, Basically, I was playing with this idea, and it, like all my ideas, it evolved over time. But essentially, the Thanos snap was a rapture, or the rapture, in this certain matrix. And it kind of, like I said, it built over time. Because one thing I did notice is like that Thanos is like that name, that concept, that movie, that whole thing has been seen by so many people. I've heard the name Thanos mentioned in a pulpit before. I'm sure you have too. Um, my mom watched the Black Panther and the two Avengers movies. Just for Black Panther, of course. So she knows about the snap. And she, was all sad and whatever when he Black Panther died in the first, well, snapped away in the first one. But it's like I've always, it's like a reverse rapture. It's like he snapped and like instead of, well, people disappeared. In a blink, basically people disappeared. And so you have that idea. And then you have the idea of, and it's not just on Earth too, it's the whole universe. Um, and then you got this idea of the return, and that's what ties into WandaVision. And that show, when all the people start to come back, and so it lines up. So the snap, happened in that reality. COVID kind of happened in this reality, and it was a taking away. We went away from our public lives for over a year, and now we're returning, starting to return. In that WandaVision show, like I said, I knew that show was good. It was also very throwing some real elements in there, and so the return. That's us. That's everybody going back to the world. And we're going back to the world with all this new. The world is different now. That's even with the Bucky, the Falcon and Winter Soldier. The people that returned. It's one thing that happened. It's like this multi-faceted thing, and that happened, and it broke open the multiverse. But now you got WandaVision. She came in with, again, that feminine thing, that feminine energy, the divine feminine thing. I mean, they're all over that. That's what that show is about: the awakening of the feminine, the divine feminine. If that's how you want to look at it, or a spiritual awakening or exploration in a feminine perspective. And so you have her manipulating reality, creating this world, creating whole realities, because she controls how people think. Media. It's the TV shows. It's all, So now we're returning to this world, and it's like that's the whole thing about it. It's like it's not the same world we left. We're living in a world that's seen this thing happen. We're living in a world where people went inside. And the thing about it, here's the real thing about it. On the surface, you have people even going back to, officers tomorrow time to go back to work. And it's like the world has changed. We've been apart. Not that we can never come back together, but there's things we've explored. There's things that new questions that have been brought up. We live in a new racial world. When we left in 2020, before all the, that's before the summer of 2020. So we're about to go to work with new rules and boundaries on all levels. And you got all this other stuff going on top of that. It's like I said, it's the pause button that's been the play button has been hit, the unpause button has been hit now. But with all these, the lights are back on, and so now, what does that world look like? All kind of parameters have been broken down. New understandings, new ways of doing things, new ideas have entered the collective conscious. So what is that gonna look like? Interesting.